Welcome to the stream announcement video. Hope you're excited. Just want to give everybody a heads up. I am sponsored by Wizards of the Coast, and tonight's stream, I'm going to be their featured content creator for tonight. I'm so excited to play some fun decks tonight, and I kind of wanted to talk about what we're going to play. I'm going to be playing, I've got about 10 decks ready for tonight. We've got Sultai Mass, and basically what I'm going with this deck is just kind of like a good kind of Sultai control, just get some really nice value with Hydroid Krasis, kind of control the board down with Hostage Taker, Thief of Sanity, so I'm really excited to play this one. So that's going to be Sultai Mask. We've also got Mirror Rage. Now, if you've seen some of my arena videos, you've seen this deck before. One of the cool things with this deck is we added Ilharg. I might end up adding another copy of Ilharg, but what we're trying to do is get Mirror March down, and then drop in something like Crispicula Worm, get that 7 life, get an extra copy of it, Burning Sun's Avatar, deal some damage to some people. And there's no better feeling than just building a ramp deck and going for Electro Dominance, and then just dropping in like a Crispicula Worm into your opponent's instep. So that's one of the other decks we're going to play tonight. I do have a Grixis Bolus deck that I've been playing around. This originally started out as a Grixis Planeswalkers deck, and then of course with Nicol Bolas being released, I said, well, all right, let's get a few copies in there and just kind of go from there. As you can tell, we've got 2 copies of Angrath. We're just really trying to attack our opponent's hand, generate value with Ralzeric, generate some card advantage or some Thopters with Tezzeret. Most of the time, we're not going to be able to go for that 0 ability, but what we're trying to do with Tezzeret, we just want Tezzeret to just kind of be a dummy. We get down, just start going for that 0 ability, start drawing a card per turn, and buy us a few extra turns with our opponent trying to swing into Tezzeret. Then, if we can take advantage of getting that artifacts online, that's always nice. But for the most part, Tezzeret's over here just to kind of buy us a couple extra turns as they swing into there. So that's a really fun deck to play. Also, Jeskai Dragons. There's no dragons in here. There's only planeswalkers. So we have Sarkhan the Masterless. +1 until end of turn. Each planeswalker you control becomes a 4/4 red dragon creature and gains flying. This deck is basically like, your any Jeskai control deck. You want to clear the board and get down a planeswalker and just kind of slowly grind the game out. But the fun thing with this deck is that, there's a lot of times where you get down Saheeli, Karn, and a few other planeswalkers. You just go for that +1, and it's really hard for your opponent to stop it. And plus, it feels pretty good swinging in with like a Karn that's a dragon. I don't know, that's a really nice vision on that. The other deck that I'm really excited about is going to be Master Tezzeret. We've got 3 copies of Tezzeret Artifice Master, 3 copies of Tezzeret Master the Bridge. What we're going with this deck is basically kind of like a black-blue Tezzeret shell. We've got Duress. We're going to be attacking our opponent's hand. We've got some really good utility artifacts to help us kind of start working towards some of those artifacts. The game plan is to basically kind of lead off with Gateway, do some filtering, Sorcerer's Spyglass, lock down one of our opponent's planeswalkers, or something like Treasure Map. That way we can slowly generate some value, and then whenever it flips, we don't lose that artifact count. In fact, we go up on the artifact. So that's kind of our early game. Then we get down Tezzeret, go for that 0 ability. Hopefully we're drawing 2 cards per turn, and then we're going to be able to close it out with Tezzeret. Because you go for that +2, especially if we've been able to kind of take care of the board with Cry. It's really hard for them to bounce back from a Tezzeret at 6 mana. That's a very nice effect. So basically just kind of going for Tezzeret Burn, which is one of my favorite decks. Plain White Awakening, this is just a kitchen table mono green deck. I love it. It's a lot of fun. We've got Finale of Devastation. That way we can grab End-Race Forerunners to kind of swarm the board. Outside of that, you just want to generate some value at the mid-range, mid-game. You want to get down Tindershoot Dryad, Biogenic Ooze, and then use Nissa as kind of that really nice amplifying effect of tapping down a forest to just end up with some really explosive turns. And of course, just going ham with Carnage Tyrant. That's always some good mono green. Now, Ralzeric Storm, 1,000-Year Storm. This is a very, very fun deck. So the main thing that we're trying to do is get down 1,000-Year Storm, start casting some spells, and be able to storm off with Lightning Strike or Shock. That's kind of the main thing that we're going for. Now, one of the ways that we can really enable this is by getting down Ral, Storm Conduit, and whenever we cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, that's going to be some extra damage that we can deal to our opponent. And then also Neheb. If we can swing in unchecked with Neheb and simply just get that trigger on the stack, and we can discard an entire hand, that's going to be 4 or 5 mana that we can add to our mana pool. That's basically going to be a free 1,000-Year Storm. Then we can really get off to a really nice start going for some storm building. I love playing this deck. Mortify is hanging around in the arena meta game, so Mortify is one of those cards that you kind of want to watch out for because you've got a 6 mana enchantment. As long as they can get rid of it, it's really hard. But if you can get down 1,000-Year Storm and they can't deal with it right then and there, most of the time you can end up with a really good. There's times where you're just storming Shimmer of Possibility for like 4. and you're looking at the top 16 cards of your library, and that is some good feeling. That's a good thing to be doing in Standard. Your opponent's going to be like, wow, that's so much fun. Please do it again. The other deck we're going to be playing is Marty Atrak. I love this. This is a ton of fun. Core concept of the deck is to really attack our opponent's hand, make sure they're discarding cards. We've got Mind Rot to make them discard 2 cards. We have the new Rogue Shadow Mage Planeswalker in here. That's going to really, once we get down to like 1 or fewer cards in the hand, that's going to deal 2 damage to them during their upkeep. We also have Carnival/Carnage, that same kind of concept of dealing that 2 damage and then making them discard a card. Once we've just attacked their hand and we've put them in top deck mode, one of the things that we need to do is just get out Angrath and just keep plussing up Angrath, making sure they can't keep anything of value in their hand. And then we can use Doom Whisper. Once we get down Doom Whisper, we kind of have that soft lock of making them top deck. We can be super aggressive with this pay 2 life and Surveil for 2. That way, if we need to find some sort of, board wipe Kaya's Wrath, once we get down Doom Whisper, and they're in top deck mode, that's basically, we have entire access to our library. So this deck is a ton of fun to play, and especially just slowly grinding it out with Angrath. I love it. And last but not least, one of my favorite decks to play is going to be Simek Mass Manipulation. This is your straightforward Simek ramp deck. We're going to, main thing that we're going for is mass manipulation, especially in 1 versus 1 arena or best of 1 arena. This is so much fun. If you can get a mass manipulation for X equals 3 or 4, most of the time you're going to win the game. And so it's a ton of fun. Then if we can't get mass manipulation, it's basically just tap out for as much mana for Hydroid Krasis. So it's a good game plan to fall back on. We've covered Sultai, Mirror Rage, Bolas, Jeskai, Tezzeret, Mono Green, Storm, 8-Rack, Simek. And then, of course, we're going to be doing some Aristocrats. I love this. This is Mardu, Bontu, Mardu Aristocrats, whatever you want to call it. Ton of fun. Get down Cruel Celebrant. That way we can start to sacrifice some of our creatures. We have some really nice overlapping synergies. Dreadhorde Butcher. That's going to be some extra damage you can deal to our opponent. Then Mayhem Devil. Whenever a player sacrifices a permanent, it deals 1 damage to any target. So with Bontu, it says sacrifice any number of permanents and then draw that many cards. Let's say we get a couple Cruel Celebrants on the battlefield. We have a Dreadhorde Butcher. We have maybe 1 or 2 Mayhem Devils. We go for Bontu, sack the entire board, and that's going to be a wonderful Aristocrats win, so I can't wait to play this game. But yeah, we've got about 10 decks sleeved up. I'm really excited to stream tonight, and also wanted to give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to Wizards of the Coast for sponsoring me tonight. That's going to be really thankful for this opportunity. So anyways, it's going to be at 6 p.m. tonight, so roughly, I don't know when I'm going to post this video, but basically 6 p.m. Central Standard Time right here on the channel, YouTube/Jolt539, so make sure you tune in, and even if you can't stay the whole time, just swing by and just kind of say hi. I normally stream for about 2 to 3 hours before my brain turns into mush. So if you want to swing by for a little bit, and it's going to be about 2 to 3 hours. And like I mentioned, sponsored by Wizards of the Coast. Thank you very much. And I cannot wait to see everybody tonight. So see you later. Bye.